Welcome back, y'all. Barley here. And in this episode, we're going to venture into year 5, where we add pigs to the animal farm. At the beginning of the year, we added another truck, something that could support the machinery in the field better and pull heavier trailers. So we grabbed this flatbed, and it's been working out really good. It also means we don't have to use a tractor to take cotton. This is, as I mentioned in last episode, the last time we'll be selling cotton for the foreseeable future. All of our fields will now only be making products that we feed to our animals. So no more ancillary stuff. So we're going to have to rejigger our rotations. And remember, we're also preparing for pigs. So that will also affect the rotations. So this is the last time you're going to see this for quite some time, or if ever again. Last year we also picked up this little John Deere 90 to help with sheep stuff. After doing a shearing, a spring, yeah, we're probably going to move this into the shop, into the warehouse, and let it move crates around. It's just not great. Not pleased. So, yeah, we'll probably move that into the warehouse. But what I am pleased about is we're only halfway through shearing season. We've already got almost 50,000 liters of wool. So whenever we get to the wool peak wool, there's going to be some money involved there. We also need to buy more land. For pigs, we can put corn on 32, but we need someplace to put soybeans. Corn and soybeans are the biggest part of the pig's diet, so we're going to pick up these two fields, 30 and 31, and we'll join them together, and that will be a soybean barley rotation, while 32 will be a barley corn rotation, and that'll give us the majority of feed. We'll have to figure out what root crop we're going to plant to finish out pig food, because we're not going to be buying pig food. The good news is while they're growing up, you can start them on corn and soybean and such. And then corn, soybean, and barley, which we already have. It's just when we go to make our own pig food, you got to add a root crop in there. So we'll get to that. And here you can see we are selling wool. This is what it looks like. So those are the bigger containers. The small ones that come out of the sheep pasture are just 1,000 liters. When we put them over in that warehouse, it combines them into 10,000 liter things, and that's what we sell. Now this year we've also accumulated enough money and credit so that we can buy our harvester instead of leasing it. So we're going to buy the one we've been using, the John Deere S7. I think we went with the 790. Yeah, the 790, the bigger engine. That way if we ever need it in the future, it's just already there. The headers, we're still going to lease those because we're still going to be going between grain header and corn header for the foreseeable future, probably forever. And eventually we may buy them both and figure out a storage solution, but that means trailers and all sorts of stuff, and that's just not important right now. Our TMR production is massive. We're producing about 75,000 liters of TMR a day, and then whatever we don't feed to the cows, we just put into our silo slash shop over here. That means that that way we can process all the silage that's in our silage silo and get it out of there, turn it into TMR, and store the TMR, and then the silo is open for the next mowing. So we pretty much just keep the TMR mixer going every day. And the TMR mixer right now looks like it's, look at the front here, it's pretty empty, so we'll have to fill it up so it goes again. And another barley harvest. This time we own the harvester, so this harvest is less costly. We just have the maintenance expenses on the harvester, not a lease fee. So yay us, finally we own it. Now we are leasing the header, but whatever. And no, I'm not going to show you the entire barley harvest. You've seen how many of those with us over the last 5 years? But it is good to be doing our own equipment. Now, after we harvest the barley, this field is going to get corn. Because we need to feed pigs. It used to be this rotation was cotton, but no longer. So pigs have to make up for the, what is it, $275,000 a year I think we were getting from cotton. Let's see, look at last year. Cotton, where is it? $216,000 last year. Or actually this year, well, we sold it this year. We grew it last year. And this is where the flatbed has really helped out. With this much land to sow, it's nice to, instead of having the tractors going back and forth, just when we set up for harvest and planting, just bring the flatbed out here with seed. And then I can let a helper continue planting, and I can go back and get more seed or whatever. It just keeps the machines in the field moving more so that we can be more efficient, keep our helper fees down, that kind of thing, and just get the crop in the ground faster. So if you remember the second episode, I think we dealt with going in a little late, and because of rain in the harvest season, we almost didn't get our crop up. So now I do everything I can to make sure that we turn these fields over fast. And over on 30 and 31, we have to join the two fields, so we've got our Massey Ferguson out there digging in the dirt. Once those two are joined, then we'll have our two separate rotation fields. 30-31 will now be a field, and 32 will, of course, continue being a field. And that's what it will look like. Flash forward a few months, early fall now, and we're harvesting our soybeans, and the corn's looking amazing. So once we get to harvest the corn, which will be a few more days, I expect, we'll have everything we need to start pigs. So the soybeans up, now we're going to plant barley over that, so that we'll have kind of a winter barley that will come up next year. That will feed the chickens, the pigs, and anybody else that wants some. But one of my favorite things in this game is just when you have all these helpers going and all the machines going and watching everybody working. One field, I think the most I've ever had is me and 4 helpers all at once. So 5 machines going, and we got 1, 2, 3, looks like helpers now, and me. This is just some of the coolest stuff to watch. So I'll pull together a couple of different scenarios. There we go. So now I'm in the planter. We've got 2 doing plowing there on the left, and I imagine there's, or could probably let a helper handle the planter, and I'll take on fertilizing, which will again be me and 3 helpers. Still cool watching all these machines work in a field at the same time. Said harvest and planting, favorite times of the year to watch all this going on. And if that wasn't enough work going on, the grass came to 100%. So we're going to get that mowed while we're harvesting, plowing, sowing, and fertilizing. So this may end up being, I don't know, we'll see if I can manage 4 workers plus me. It gets to be quite a bit. 3 and me is typical. I have done 4 and me before, but it is quite a lot. Kind of turns it almost into like a real-time strategy game, which is one of my favorite genres. So yeah, we got 1 mowing, I'm fertilizing, we got 1 plowing, 1 planting. Honestly, the limitation here might be I don't have enough tractors. So yeah, it's me, the mower down at the bottom, and 2. So we're me and 3 right now. To do any more, I'd need another tractor. I got the John Deere, the Massey Ferguson, another John Deere. Yeah, the limitation right now is just machinery. Now, well, I don't know what I'd have them doing. Now, silage is also important. I told you the reason that we just keep plowing away at the TMR, just making 75,000 every day, and so we can keep this silage bin empty, silage silo empty, so that we can, when we have to mow the grass, we have a place to put it so that we can make more silage. because without that, there's no TMR. And I'd also like to fill that silo up max with TMR. That way, if there's ever an issue like we were having before where we don't get our 2 cuts of grass, or we don't get enough grass, or what have you, and can't make TMR, we've got enough stored to hopefully get through another grass cutting. But, you know, doing silage is doing silage. It's interesting, but not incredibly exciting. This is my favorite configuration. I use the roller on the back and the blade on the front. And you just run back and forth until it finally is flat enough to cover. And then finally, late autumn, and it's time to harvest the corn. This is the first corn harvest that I've done. Just never needed corn for anything. So, this is cool. Be curious to see how much corn we get. That'll help us understand how many pigs we can feed. Of course, we won't really know how many we can feed until we're mixing our own food, but this will give us an indication. It's just now we'll have to do, at least the way I understand it, is we're gonna have to take corn over, take soybeans over, and take barley over individually, which will be a pain, but hey, we're gonna learn pigs. Well, looks like the Massey and the John Deere are plowing over there, plowing away. In this field, we're going to put oilseed radish down. It's not time to plant the next crop, so we're going to go ahead and winter it with oilseed so that we can get some free fertilization out of it. So it's not just a dead field until it's time to plant spring barley. Now that we have everything we need to feed pigs, it's time to clear this area for the pig pen. So we're going to pick up all these egg wagons, go sell the eggs, then sell the egg wagons and the egg pallets so that we can sell off the chickens, sell the pens, and put down a pig pen. And now that we all have all these different pens, I want to try something with the conveyor belts. Since it works good to pick up silage and manure, I wondered if, since all we do is pick up the food and then drop it right back on the same place to clean the pens, what if I just put a conveyor belt in the middle of the pen, the little, food spot, and see if it will automatically pick up the stuff and drop it right back in there? I mean, it's a kludge. And I know there's a mod out there, whatever, pull up table manners or something like that. But at least this is, keeping it real, sort of, and within the confines of how the game works. So we're going to give this a try. We'll have to mess around with it, I'm sure, or it might not work at all. But I know it'll pick it up. The question is if it can pick up and drop off within the same... Okay. Well, initially that looks good. We'll see how it works out. So we've got our cows, chickens, some sheep, and some pigs. So we now have all the farm animals. We may add some meat cattle later on, or some meat sheep, I don't know, or both. But as it stands, we kind of have reached all of our goals. Now it's going to be about automating this stuff. So what does a day in the life look like on Lone Oak Animal Farm at the end of year 5? You can see this is late winter. So the little cleaner-uppers are cleaning up-erness. And while I run through a video of the daily tasks on Lone Oak Animal Farm, I thought I'd talk through the year's numbers. Last year we pulled in a little over 1.4 million. This year, we've managed almost 1.6 million, a good little increase. Our big money makers were cows. We pulled in a little over $300,000 from the cows. Sheep brought in 114,000. Chickens were 103,000, and we made 216,000 off of cotton, and a little bit off of straw bales. We had excess straw. But all in all, the animals are obviously making far more than anything that comes up out of the ground. And that would be our last cotton sale. So next year we won't have that $200,000, and we won't have as much money from the chickens. We had 4 pens, now we've got 1, so figure maybe $25,000, $30,000 is all we're going to get out of eggs. But hopefully the pigs can start to make up for that difference. And that's the key difference from last year. 300,000 from the cows this year, 253,000 or so last year was from the cows. Sheep only made 21,000 last year, and this year a substantial increase. Now we've got some of the automation going on with the cleaning upper things, basically the conveyor belts picking up and dumping stuff off. There is an interesting mechanic with that, is they won't actually do anything until you're like close to them. Like when we drive up, they start cleaning up. I don't know if it's, oh my god, Dad's home, clean up, or something along those lines, but it seems to detect proximity, and then it starts cleaning up the little pin area. One of my key goals for year 6 is going to be figuring out how to automate this. The pigs are by far the most pain in the butts to feed. The 3 trips back and forth is just a pain. The cows, it's not too bad. TMR automatically mixed, and then 1 trip through to clean, and well, not clean anymore, just to drop off straw. So yeah, the cows aren't a big deal, and they make so much money. I mean, even if they were a big deal, just I don't know what the pigs are going to make, so I don't want a huge hassle for not much money. And if you like what you see in the Lone Oak Animal Farm episodes, don't forget to like and subscribe so that I know you want to keep seeing them and you get notified when they come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll leave you to the video of taking care of all the animals we got here on the farm.